There are so many nuances on the path of knowing oneself. When I think about my life and the way that I'm spending it today, I wonder if everything that I'm doing is aligned with those questions, those realities. My name's Tarab. I make videos about emotional intelligence every day, and I am constantly questioning myself as to whether or not I am growing as an individual. The only real indications of this come in times of turmoil or in a consistent period. So, for instance, if I know that I shouldn't stay up late at night, when I finally get the solution as to what I need to cut out and I actually go forth and attack that, cut it out, then I know that I'm aligning with the values that I'm setting in place. How do we spend all of this time working in life, spend all this tremendous amount of energy working perhaps for someone else, when we know that there are little things that we're really looking for? They're really little, nuanced, quite easy things to come across when we think about it. Quality time with people that we really enjoy spending it with. Building things, ideologies. Perhaps watching something or experiencing something new. Novelty. These are the three things that I consistently come back to when I'm thinking perhaps I'm missing something. How do we go and find those things in the moment though? Most of the time, it comes down to planning ahead. It says to us, all right, you feel this way right now, but what will you do in order to make that a reality in 2 or 3 days from now? It's often not what will we do right then, because we got things to do. We got schedules and we got meetings and we have responsibilities. The older we grow, the more involved we get, the greater those responsibilities get. So it would behoove us to figure out a way to have a level of freedom in every given day. How is the question? Well, first and foremost, I will tell you that if you have too much freedom, if there is not enough structure in a day, if there's not enough necessary things that we really need to nail, then it's going to become very, very difficult for us to know if we're making any progress in life. On the other hand, if there is too much structure, we will feel that we do not have the control that we are looking for. So, and this is a compounded thing in my opinion, especially when a lot of the goals that good leaders, and hopefully you, a catalyst to society, the goals that we set are fairly long term. Things that will take days and months and perhaps years to accumulate in order to become a reality. How do we find the real benefit of putting in the effort? Well, the way I see it is, my goal in life is to help people. If I can help the most amount of people in my life, I'll probably be in good shape. How do I determine the depth to which I am helping people? Now that is a question that really I think matters to each one of us. Because giving someone a fish, teaching them how to fish, right? Ideally, the latter is more beneficial. But when do we see that the person is actually using the skills? How do we see whether or not that person is thinking about us in the process? I think we get the most satisfaction when we're a philanthropic soul and we actually have people come to us and say, thank you, good job. I've seen it a lot already, and I'm incredibly grateful for those of you that watch these videos. I wonder, however, the greed that is within my soul for these types of affirmations, I suppose. And I wonder if it is a rational way to go about existing. Greed is a good thing for a lot of tangible goals. It's been useful to me to understand that greed has a role to play in the life of hopefully someone that aspires to do great things. To be greedy means that we understand our time is worth something. To be greedy means that we want more for ourselves, thusly we may be more useful to the people around us. Greedy means that we feel we deserve something in life. The nth degree of greed, however, turns into the sin that it is. It turns into the thing that really requires us to recuperate and spend some time to reflect. So I go on walks at times like this. I try to throw off the pace at times like this. Perhaps it is to the detriment of progress. But, my friend, what I like to say to myself a lot and to people that I try to inspire is that this life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And marathons require a steady pace. They require an amount of giving in and giving out. Meaning, if we expend all of our energy all the time, every single day, then perhaps we'll have too little energy to see what's right in front of us. If we spend none of our energy in a given day, then perhaps we'll take for granted everything that comes to us or in front of us. The key, in my opinion, is to remain right in the middle. Just stay completely level most of the time. Now that level can change, and I've seen it in the people that have gone through the most in life. That level can be incredibly happy and graceful, lots of smiling and lots of laughter. It can be incredible strength and fortitude masked behind perhaps an even-keeled face. But at the best of times, being in the middle means being able to see everything for what it is. And that is something that I aspire to do consistently. Clairvoyance, Odin's eye, perhaps. I believe that without it, I will miss the little details in life. And that is just pitiful. It's taking all this stuff for granted, you know. The big goals are great, and I always aspire to have bigger goals, and I always suggest that you guys, in watching this and trying to find inspiration from these things, y'all set some really tremendous goals for yourself. The worst case scenario is that we don't necessarily meet them. However, we make sure that we're growing as individuals. Now that, I don't think there's any substitute for. You only live once, as Alex Hormozy says. And that shouldn't just be used as a hedonistic way to use drugs, but as a way to say to ourselves, every day is a lifetime. Let's try to use it to be productive and useful. So I have a bunch of things going on right now in life, and a lot of them are in the air. And I'm actually looking for team members locally in Ohio. People that I can spend a minimal amount of energy engaging in a task, and that will take it all the way where it needs to go. Now, how do I make sure that I am choosing the right people? After lots and lots of contemplation on the subject, and after months and years spending time with certain people, I realized that it really does require a very nuanced perspective in how a person evolves over time. Meaning that if we continue to hire people that, or have people in our teams that reflect people that used to be on our teams that weren't as productive, we're going to continue to have the same results. Furthermore, if we continue to look past the culture that we're instilling in our workplaces, in our scenarios, then our teams will not necessarily have the room to evolve as they should. So it's a two-part issue. So nowadays, there's a couple questions that I asked that I picked up from various different places. One of them is, what are your goals in life? If someone's goals in life are to buy a house and to relax and chill, no offense to those that are watching this video, but frankly speaking, I don't really want that person around. The reason being, the goal should be an expectation based on the work that we put in. Now, the next question that I say is, what is a book that you have read that has impacted your career or your personal life? That's directly stolen from Dan Martell. And the logic behind that, from Dan's opinion, is that you're either someone that reads books or you're someone that doesn't. And either they're books that are fantasy novels and we're doing them merely for entertainment, or they're books that are necessarily going to evolve us as human beings. I want the latter. The other thing is a superpower. Sure, that one I might get rid of because people perceive it as Marvel or whatever. That actually tells me a lot about people. But these questions, I used to think to myself, I have the ability to evolve a human being as they enter my space, as I have, the leadership charge of actually caring about them. It's my responsibility to evolve them. But I am here to tell you that whether it be finding purpose in your life, whether it be knowing yourself, or whether it be trying to know someone else, a lot of the same conclusions stand. If we are not spending the time to think differently, we will never act differently. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. And if you'd like to work together and you believe that you have a team that will be interested in evolving, or you have a culture that's interested in evolving, I would love to participate. Hit me up in the comments below or shoot me a DM. Take care of yourself. I'll see you on the flip.